on this video for equipment and safety gear that's recommended here at the Chapel Hill Skate Park. I'm going to talk to you today about the kind of equipment that I'd like, including these skateboards, helmets and wrist guards and shoes. The most important thing that you want to know for your skateboard, if you're buying a new skateboard, you're going to want to look for what they call a complete, and that includes everything from the board, the trucks, the wheels, the bearings, right down to the hardware in there. You can find a complete for anywhere from $90 to about $150. Some good stores, some local stores in the area include Manifest in Durham, Endless Grind in Raleigh, and Delicious Skateboard Shop in Wake Forest. Some online retailers that I would recommend are Tactics and CCS in California. The reason that I would recommend you go to a skateboard retailer over a toy store is just the quality of the small parts inside the skateboard that really make it function properly. Those parts that are most essential to the skateboard are the bushings and the wheels here. And typically when you buy those things from a Target or a Walmart, it's a hard plastic, and you're really not able to lean on the skateboard to turn it properly. And with a hard plastic wheel, you really don't get the kind of grip that you would need here at the skate park. Having said that, over the past 60 years, there's been a huge evolution in skateboard equipment, and there is so much variety that I'm going to just talk about some things for basic beginners here of all ages. So if you are starting and you're under the age of about 12 to 13, I'd recommend a board that is no bigger than 8 inches wide. You want something that's between 7.5 and 8 inches wide for a beginner, for a youth beginner. They're all about 31 to 32 inches long, so you don't have to worry about that. But the width here is what you want to look for. And when you're shopping for your completes, it'll say 7.5 or 8.0. And like I said, you don't want to go much bigger than that for kids. Also, the shape of the skateboard is really essential for beginners too. This, what they call popsicle shape, has the most potential for tricks and maneuverability and just overall function. These rounded edges make it a lot easier to scoop and to turn and to maneuver with your feet. Tend to like harder wheels, and the reason that they would want a harder wheel is so that they can slide on the ground a lot easier. And also, if your kid is young and pretty light, you want to think about maybe getting a soft bushing if you're getting your parts individually. If you're getting a complete and you're getting something that's 7.5, they'll usually be set up for youth height and weight already. However, if you're customizing your shape, for kids, I'd recommend soft bushings and hard wheels. But on the other side of that, if you're a grown-up and you're anywhere, over maybe 150 to 200 pounds, you'd want a little bit of a harder bushing, because you are putting so much more weight on the board when you're turning. And also, I found that a lot of adults will like a more square tail, because most adults are looking for just to go one direction on the skateboard and not switch it up and do a whole bunch of different maneuvers. So my two recommendations for beginners are both these what they call an old school shape with a more square tail, and a more new school shape that is what they call a popsicle shape. If you are shopping for an old school complete, they usually are set up for adults. just like if you're shopping for a complete at 7.5 inches, it'll be set up for kids. You do want to be careful if you're shopping for an old school complete. Don't get an old school complete mini, because that is just a small version of the thing that I'm recommending, and that'd be better for kids. But you want an old school complete if you're an adult. For the square tail, the bigger, softer wheels, and the harder bushings. When you're looking for your helmet, in addition to making sure that it's flat in the back, you want your size to really, it's best to go to one of those skate shops that I mentioned to really try a helmet on. Or you could always send it back, I suppose, but what you're looking for either way is for the helmet to fit snug on the head, not that it's hard to get on, but so snug that if they were upside down without it strapped, it's not going to fall off. And then you just want to make sure that when you do have it strapped, you have a little bit more space in there than I do. Probably about 2 fingers worth of space. All right, the next thing I want to talk about here are the wrist guards that I'd recommend. You want a wrist guard with a hard plastic on the bottom, preferably removable so that you can wash these things. But I found that the more straps it has, the better, more secure fit it has. And when you're putting these wrist guards on, you want to make sure that the hard plastic piece is on the bottom. Like I was saying earlier, the wrist is the most broken bone from skateboarding. There's a lot of ankle sprains, ankle injuries, and wrist sprains, but the most breaks come from lower arm and wrist injuries. The town is also recommending knee and elbow pads here at the skate park, and you want to preferably not go over your pants when you're applying the knee and elbow pads, just because they'll slide down. As soon as you hit it'll just slide down your leg a lot easier if it's just on your pants. And elbow guards are pretty good. However, we'll be reviewing some safe ways to get on your skateboard, finding out your stance, and going about learning some basic maneuvers as safe as possible with no injuries.